Just a few hours after launching the biggest invasion of a European country since the Second World War, it looked like business as usual at the Kremlin. Pakistan's Prime Minister was the guest. But might Vladimir Putin's mind have been elsewhere? As the two men talked, Russia's military was advancing in Ukraine. These trucks were headed from Crimea to the Ukrainian border, part of an army that had surrounded a country of 40 million people. A country that Russia's president has said he doesn't think should exist. In an address to Russians and Ukrainians, Putin said his aim was to demilitarize Ukraine, and he made clear his antipathy for the government in Kiev.
I have to also address the Ukrainian military. Dear comrades, your fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers fought against the Nazis defending our common motherland. Not for today's neo-Nazis to take power in Kiev. You took the oath of allegiance to the Ukrainian people, not the junta robbing Ukraine and bullying its own people. Do not follow its criminal orders. I urge you to immediately lay down your weapons and go home.
Russia's defence ministry says it's met all its targets for Thursday, destroying 83 ground facilities of the Ukrainian military, and it insists they're not targeting civilian areas.
The high-precision weapons of the Russian armed forces only destroy the military infrastructure. These are objects of air defense, military airfields, aviation of the armed forces of Ukraine. Staged video filming with mass casualties among the civilian population was filmed in Ukrainian cities.
There have been some attempts in Russia to protest against the invasion. Several hundred turned out in Moscow. They're shouting no to war. Judging the Russian public's reaction is difficult because it's almost impossible to protest freely here. But Vladimir Putin's approval rating was at 69% in the build-up to the war.
This is a full-blown invasion. And President Putin actually a couple of days before outlined in his speech what he wants to get from Ukraine, what Ukraine should do, and that included a total demilitarization of the country.
At an afternoon meeting with businessmen, no one admitted to Vladimir Putin any worries about sanctions. Russia's central bank says it's got $631 billion in cash reserves to cushion the economy if it's closed off from the global financial system. And in a late-night phone call on Thursday, the French president told Vladimir Putin he was exposing himself to massive sanctions. The Kremlin said Putin and Emmanuel Macron had a serious and frank exchange of views. Whatever was said, it was unlikely to have been enough to stop the Russian military's advance on Kiev. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Moscow.